In the highlands of Kenya and Uganda in East Africa, there are tales of a mysterious creature. Is it a bear? Is it an ape? Is it a hyena? Or is it something else? It's called the Nandi Bear. Tales of it have been around since 1905, but have died out by the end of the century. Come join us today as we try and find out what truly is the Nandi Bear.
Alright everyone, welcome back to
Unknown,
Unsolved,
Unseen.
Triple U.
Woohoo!
I love that we added the woohoo without realizing we were gonna, now it's just in every episode.
Yeah. Who said it first? You, I think?
No, It was you, because I would sometimes sing the Triple U.
Well, alright. Then welcome back everyone to episode 59. I'm your adventurous host, Frank.
I am your couch potato host, Sage.
And we're here to talk about some fantastical creatures. So first off, for announcements, for the sake of time right now, because we're running a bit behind, thanks to a certain somebody who will not calm down or give me...
That somebody would be our dog. It's not me, I promise.
He does not like to give me a time, right? Like anytime I'm like 5 minutes into writing an episode, he's like, let me get up and be a nuisance. And I'm like, why? Why?
I don't know.
But the big announcement we have, though, is, well, first off, check out those other podcasts we promote here and there. And mainly, this weekend is going to be the Carbondale Festival in Carbondale, PA. We're going Friday and Saturday, and we hope that some of you go as well. We know you guys are from across the country and across the world, so not all of you can obviously make it. But we have a large portion of Pennsylvania listeners. We hope that some of you can make it there.
Yeah, and then maybe you'll see us.
Yeah, maybe. But for now, we're going to be heading over for cryptid stuff. The last cryptid we did was Honey Island Swamp Monster, not that long ago. That was 6 episodes ago, I think.
What's the last cryptid I did?
The Mongolian Death Worm, episode 42.
Yikes.
And you know the one before that?
That was the Yeti, wasn't it?
Yeah, Yeti. I think that's episode 14. And those are your only two. You know your last alien episode?
No.
The Lubbock Lights, number 20.
All right, guys. I promise that I'm going to try to put more of that in there in the next coming months after I'm done with the Zodiac Killer.
And it hasn't been since episode, 37 that I did a true crime one. That's nothing like since episode 20.
Yeah, well, I mean, we both have our own niches that we like to be in.
Yeah, I'm a big cryptid alien guy.
Yep. And I'm a big true crime gal, I guess.
Well, today we're heading back to a continent that we've gone to once before on the podcast. We're heading over to Africa, specifically to West Africa. No, just kidding, East Africa.
What?
To the countries of Kenya and Uganda, mostly Kenya.
Okay.
You know where Kenya and Uganda are?
Along the west coast of Africa.
Wow.
Aren't they like midway?
They're by the Horn of Africa. Kenya's right beneath the Horn.
I don't know what Horn of Africa is.
Okay.
Just so everyone is aware, geography was my absolute worst subject in school, okay? If you try to explain to me where something is, I probably don't know.
If you look at Africa, you'll notice on the right side of it, the east side, there's a part that sticks out like a point. It's called the Horn of Africa. That's where you have like Djibouti, Eritrea, Somalia. Beneath them, you got Kenya, and till the west of Kenya, you have Rwanda and Uganda.
Okay.
You know where I'm talking about.
No, I'm just picturing the country or the continent of Africa and hoping that it's somewhere on there.
All right.
But I believe you.
Well, good. Well, we'll be looking into... Well, first off, actually, before I say much about what we're looking into, Sage, do you know anything about the Nandi Bear?
Literally not at all. I don't even know that I've ever heard the words until you told me like earlier today that this is what you were working on.
You know what's interesting about this?
Hmm.
Think of today's like popular cryptids, right? What are they?
Bigfoot, Mothman, Flatwood Monster, New Jersey Devil, Thunderbird.
Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, Nessie. Couldn't forget Nessie. Champ.
Even when you get into like cryptozoology circles, you got like the Mapinguari is big. Like that's a giant ground sloth.
Mongolian death worm.
Yeah, that's not too big. But like the Yeti too.
But the worm is big, Frank.
Is it big? Is it hairy? Is it an Alaskan bullworm?
It might be. But okay.
But,
so
yeah.
what
What I was gonna say is in the 1900s, in the 20th century, the what's it called? I also forgot the episode name. The Nandi Bear was a big cryptid.
Okay.
It was a plausible cryptid.
Big as in there was a lot of sightings? Or big as in like it was actually big?
It was plausible is what it is.
Okay.
It's a plausible animal.
Okay.
So on that, we're going to get into this if you're ready for that.
Take it away.
All right, just a quick background to begin. Let's explore the area we'll be looking into first, which I don't have too much information on the generalized area. We're going to be going to Kenya and parts of Uganda. It was kind of hard to find much about like the environment of the area. From what I could find, it's mostly the western side of Kenya, which has a lot of forest to it and some savannas. From descriptions, it seems a lot of what we're looking to is in the forested areas.
Okay.
This is an area that was cut up when the Europeans colonized the place by making borders wherever and by colonizers and settlers taking over the land and using it for farming too.
Well, that sounds like something colonizers do.
Yeah. Are you ready to get into the creature of today's feature?
Heck yeah. Oh, I like that. That was a good rhyme.
Thank you.
Oh, you're Eminem.
Yeah. The only thing I got in common with him is I'm white.
I was just literally in my head thinking, like, dang, you're the next white rapper. Oh my god. All right, anyway. Sorry.
All right. The creature today we're going to be exploring is the Nandi Bear. The Nandi Bear is known by a variety of names, whether it be actual different names or creatures that may be the same thing. It's interesting because you have various regional dialects, languages, tribes. They all have different names for it. Here are some of them that are not the Nandi Bear. The Chemosit, Chemosit. I know all of these are like identical basically, but a few letter differences.
That's the same as like it was with the Yeti.
Yeah. The Dubu, forest hyena.
Oh, Dubu.
Giant forest hyena. Sebruku, Tu, Bua, Kodolo, Engarglyar, Jetit, Stinio, Mubende beast.
I'm glad I'm not doing this episode.
And I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. The Kitit. I think that's Kitit, I think. And then lastly, actually, I forgot to put it on the list here, but it actually comes up a little later. And here I used the word name because people use it. People used it actually. Let me just find it. Shuvier. No, Shuvuvu. No, Shivuvier.
That's a cute name.
It's a pain to spell, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but how many red lines is your Google Doc showing?
Surprisingly, that first one did not have many red dots. The Shivuvier has a red line on it, but like nothing else does somehow.
What the heck?
I don't know how he got away with those words. But this is only some of them. There's a few more that I could go over, but I don't want you guys to get caught up in the names, me to get confused, me to have to keep mispronouncing stuff because I'm pretty sure I'm getting most of these wrong.
And there's a chance that going through that's just going to make me check out.
Yeah. The main name, Nandi Bear, is named for the Nandi people. They live in the Kapsabet area where the animal was seen frequently-ish. That most of its sightings are there in that area. Now, on to the description of the animal. There are some descriptions of the creature that vary. but it generally describes within the bounds of a realistic animal that could exist. Nothing like, say, a Mothman hodag or Fresno nightcrawlers. Like those interesting beings, interesting sightings. Hodag is just straight up hoax. Mothman and Fresno nightcrawlers do not conform with traditional evolution of this planet. Okay. Mothman should... No animal that big should have 6 limbs. Because Mothman technically has 6 limbs.
2 wings, 2 legs.
Any vertebrate that flies, the wings are the arms. Like, if a dragon were to fly with, like, 2 legs, like, 4 legs and wings, you're bordering insect territory there with your 6 limbs.
Dragons have.
Yeah, you're bordering insect territory.
Just because it has 6 legs?
Yeah.
No, I do not agree with that.
No vertebrate has 6 legs. Name me a vertebrate with 6 legs.
I can't name you a vertebrate
exactly,
with 6 legs.
because there are none.
However, I don't agree that they count as 6 legs.
Or 6 limbs.
It's 6 limbs.
Yes.
But insects is 6 legs.
No, insects are 6 limbs. Mantises don't use their front 2 as legs.
Okay. Butterflies, like, wings don't count as legs.
Because when it comes to them, their wings are different than their limbs. In insects, limbs are not wings. But for vertebrates, wings are limbs.
We're going to agree to disagree, but
that's science. What do you mean?
I can deny science. That's a 2025 thing.
Oh my God. How are
No one disrespects Mothman like that, okay?
All right, so this creature fits more in the realms of something like a Sasquatch that realistically could be a creature, or the saber-toothed cats or Mapinguari cryptids that I've talked about. So those all fit within like traditional evolution of this planet, within groups that already exist. Now, you ready to hear some of these descriptions?
Yep.
Well, there's 2 main different animals here at play that we're describing. Because here's the issue with the Nandi Bear. There's a lot of belief, like Carl Schuker mentions it. It sounds like it's a lot of different animals, multiple identified animals, and cryptid animals lumped together into one creature. So this should realistically be broken up. I'm not an expert to break that up.
Okay, I'm glad that we can identify we're not experts.
Yes. So there is the hyena-like description and the ape/baboon-like description. Which would you like to go over first? The ape, baboon-like, or hyena?
Let's go over the ape baboon because, in case anyone's curious, hyenas are Frank's favorite animal, and I feel like we should save that for last because that's the best.
All right. For the ape/baboon, like this ape/baboon. Did I say haboon?
You did.
Hyena baboon hybrid. Haboon.
It's hyboon.
Hyboons.
Yeah.
So for the ape/baboon like description, it is thick set.
What?
Thick set.
Okay. Sorry, that's just a weird description.
Height of 4 to 5 feet tall when it stands upright. It can go from quadruped to biped stance. The color of its hair is dark brown or tawny. The animal is covered in hair, and the hair that is covered in is long and shaggy. Its head is long with a pointed snout, small ear, stumpy nose, and it's on a short neck. The back is sloping, high withers, thickly furred front legs, but the hindquarters are relatively bare. What's that look you're giving?
This doesn't sound anything like a baboon. Like, the only part that sounds like a baboon is that their butt is hairless.
I mean, the face. Baboons have more pointed faces than other apes, monkeys. Tail that is short or non-existent, and its feet are plantigrade. Baboons are plantigrade walkers for their back feet, but hyenas are not.
What does that mean?
So you and I walk plantigrade, okay, where our feet are completely on the ground, like the whole entire thing. Where not
unless
every
you have a high
animal
arch.
is.
So, like, but not every animal obviously walks like. Can you give me an example?
Really good example is dinosaurs and birds. They walk on their toes.
Oh, okay.
A hyena does not. They don't walk with their full foot on because, like, I'm showing Sage with my hand. It's like walking like this or walking like this.
Okay.
And a lot of animals walk like that. I'm pretty sure dogs are digitigrade.
You know who else walks like that?
What?
You. You walk on your toes.
Frank walks in and says, I don't know how to help it. I try to not do it.
It's just something that, I mean, I do it sometimes too.
All right. You ready to go to the hyena?
It's only on hard surfaces too. You tend to walk on your actual feet up on the carpet.
Yeah.
I think it's just noise wise.
All right. You ready for the hyena-like description?
Yeah.
All right. Just heads up, people, hyenas are my favorite animal.
Yes,
I think they're cool. They're adaptive animals. People paint them out to be these evil scavengers, but they are.
I feel like the Lion King didn't add anything. Like the Lion King really, like, showcased the fact that people think that they're like
hyenas are pretty high up on the food chain when it comes to predators. And I'll go into this later in here too on detail, but hyenas are one of the few animals in history that evolved to have bone breaking abilities. A hyena's jaw can break bones, so it can get the marrow. That makes them exceptional scavengers.
Yeah.
Because when a carcass is picked clean, most animals can't get to the bone marrow in there, but a hyena can. Another animal that's pretty famous for doing this is Tyrannosaurus Rex. In their poop, we can see that they would break bones to get everything.
Damn.
Which not every animal can do that.
Are there other animals alive today that...
I mean, crocodiles can do it, but that's also just because they're just so powerful and they cannot chew.
Mm-hmm.
But like in chewing animals, or animals that have like, birds and dinosaurs don't necessarily chew, but they have more freedom in their movement than what, say, T-Rex, what a crocodile would have. A lot of crocodilians have it, but today's I don't know what other animals have it. A hippo probably can,
just
but
like
a hippo's an herbivore.
Straight up force.
Yeah. But hyenas are evolved to do that, which is just an interesting adaptation to have, because you can scavenge whatever you want, and two, you can bully other animals off their kills. A cheetah cannot take a hyena. The cheetah's bones, if it breaks a bone, it's done for. A cheetah relies entirely on speed. Hyenas will easily bully off a cheetah off their kill because they know that they can't fight a hyena. And they will get in numbers and they will bully lions occasionally if there's enough of them.
Because they're a pack animal, right?
Yeah. Well, they like do roaming gangs. I don't know if it's necessarily a pack in like a typical sense, but I don't know.
Roaming gangs. I like that. That's an interesting...
Some animals are gangs, some are packs. It's interesting.
Do you know what a pack of crows is?
A murder.
Yeah. So there's a shirt that I really want that says, like, save a crow, like, support your local murder.
My goodness. But I'll go... The hyenas being able to break bones will come into play later because that's a adaptation that relates to one of the reports about the Nandi Bear.
Okay.
I used to know more about hyenas. I also knew that they're bad pets for that reason. Because, like, you can technically domestically keep one. You shouldn't. Because they can break your bones by biting them. And they sometimes, like, they have the prey instinct, like how Atlas sometimes chews stuff. A hyena will chew stuff, too. And if they get in your wall, if they chew something like a pipe, they're breaking that pipe.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not like your dog is going to struggle on a metal pipe or something. A hyena will break that.
And do humans have more brittle bones than some animals do?
Depends. I'm pretty sure cheetahs are more brittle, and that's why they're easy to bully off. But ours are breakable.
They're so skinny, and they need to be fast.
Ours are breakable still by hyena standards, because a lot of stuff in Africa is breakable by their standards.
Fair.
Back on this, on the hyena-like description, the hyena-like Nandi Bear is roughly twice the size of a spotted hyena. For those unaware, the spotted hyena is the most common of the species whenever you look at them. When people talk about hyenas, like, you'll notice that that's the regular one that everyone sees. There are 3 other species of hyenas: the brown hyena, aardwolf, and striped hyena, all native to Africa. The spotted hyena is around 37 inches to 65 inches long, which is 95 to 165 centimeters long. Its shoulder height is between 28 to 36 inches, which is 70 to 91.5 centimeters tall. Back to the Nandi Bear, it is roughly twice the size of that I just said. It has shaggy brown hair, short head, small ears, red eyes, which that can always be light reflection, which I say often. Large teeth. It has a long mane and a back that slopes down to its rear. Its front legs are longer than its hind legs. Its tail is short, and unlike the other descriptions, its feet are digitigrade, opposite of the other description.
I was going to say, those are very different.
Yep. Between the two different animals, the tracks have left behind are different. The baboon ape-like animal leaves behind oblong tracks that are 5.5 inches long, which is about 14 centimeters, and 3.5 inches wide, or 8 centimeters wide. They are five-toed with claws and are plantigrade. The hyena-like tracks are larger than a man's track, spade-shaped based on the tracks, and have 3 toes. There are huge inward-facing claws and pads. It is digitigrade on these, which matches a hyena.
How did, are you going to go into later, how 2 very different descriptions got brought up?
Yeah, I'll go into that mostly in my theories of what it can be.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking a lot of this, the animal is not seen that close up for long, often.
Okay.
And there are specimens of killed ones.
Oh.
Which where they went and what it was is interesting. Because I do think, this is not widely reported on, I was trying to read it, but I'm going to be honest, I did not get to read it all because of time, so I might have to revisit sometime later. But Carl Schuker, I believe, has actually legitimately defined what the Nandi Bear is on some of the sightings. It is an unknown species.
Okay.
And it's interesting. It's an animal we've actually already mentioned, but I'm not going to spoil that.
Okay.
On behavior of the 2 animals, it seems relatively the same. I couldn't find where the break between the 2 is. If there is one, it also doesn't help that some places refuse to note that the cryptid could be broken up to 2 groups, while others still say that it is just one. The Nandi Bear is described as nocturnal. It sits on its haunches and can stand on its hind legs. How long is not mentioned, and I think that is more referred to the baboon-esque one. It is claimed to be a highly aggressive animal. It can climb or leap over tall fences. It runs on all 4s with a sideways canter or a loping, shambling gait. That is similar to a bear. Hence why the bear description comes. It could sound like a hyena or a baboon also, based on that. Its call has an interesting description to it. Do you want me to do any of it?
If you feel like you can.
It can either be a terrifying howl. Whoa! I don't want to rile up Atlas. Or a moaning cry.
Don't hyenas almost have a cackle?
Yeah, they have a cackle.
So
but they can also howl, I believe.
Okay, I was gonna say because that doesn't sound like any.
But we're talking. I think spotted hyenas do that. I don't know what the other 3 are. Striped hyenas, I think, are a lot more solitary, and you do not see them often. I think the other 3 species of hyena are very less in population than the spotted. The spotted is a majority of hyenas, I believe. Back to that, it will enter the huts of the local tribes and kill people, and when it kills people, it specifically eats the brains of people and livestock. You know what's interesting about that?
Has to crack the skull?
Has to crack the skull open. Not
Ew.
the easiest thing to do.
So that means its jaws pretty much have to be wide enough.
It doesn't necessarily have to be, it has to be able to get some type of purchase on it and then crush.
Yeah.
You don't have to necessarily crush the whole thing, you just have to crush a
it has to be
portion.
able to at least notch its teeth.
Yeah, whether it be side, just notch a small hole and then work off that hole and make it larger, but you have to have a stronger bite force. And your teeth and jaw have to be evolved to withstand that force. Now, that's the general description of the Nandi Bear. Thoughts on it so far?
I am appreciative that you explained why it has bear in the name, because I was very confused when we have baboon description, hyena subscription, what the heck? Hyena,
I prescribe you hyena.
hyena description and baboon description. and yet we call it some type of bear. So
Yeah, and I'll mention that later. But
there's another animal that has bear in the name, right? But it's not actually a bear.
koala bear,
Yeah.
not a bear. Red panda, which is not a panda.
Well, yeah. I don't know what I'm thinking of.
Let me think.
That's all right. Keep going. I'll look it up.
There's the bear cat and the koala bear. Also, in prehistoric times, there was the bear dogs as well. You ready for me to segue into the sightings?
Yeah.
So we're going to go in chronological orders on sightings. I'm going to go over a lot of the ones I found. There were a lot of details I didn't want to just plagiarize off places too. A lot of these come from the Mysterious Creatures, A Guide to Cryptozoology, which is a great encyclopedia, and the Encyclopedia of Cryptozoology Online, which uses a lot of the books I have and books I don't have as sources. The Encyclopedia of Cryptozoology, or also known as the Cryptid Archives, actually does a good job of citing all their sources on the site. So that is probably the best source. And one issue I have is you won't see I have many sources on this episode, because a lot of sources I have either link back to Encyclopedia of Cryptozoology, and if they don't, Encyclopedia of Cryptozoology might link to them, which is it's an interesting loop.
Mm-hmm.
But no like backflow like that one Honey Island Swamp Monster where two places reference each other and it was the same person making up fake sources. The Encyclopedia of Cryptozoology actually is like referencing books. Like the book I used is referenced often in it, so like I had to either try and paraphrase from one or the other.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
that's cool though that you have the book.
Yeah, this book helped a lot. At this point, that the cover of Volume 1 has now a chunk bit out of it from Atlas today. So I'm going to go over as much as I could in the limited time I have, and also not make this episode go on for. So that's something this is actually a very interesting one too, as there's a firm start and a firm end date for sightings on the Nandi Bear.
Interesting. It's not been seen since that last one?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that last one is an interesting sighting because it's a decent bit out.
Okay.
But you know what that well, like I find this interesting because also you don't get this with a lot of other cryptids, but you know what it implies?
No.
Extinction.
Oh, right. I was like not thinking along actual scientific lines.
In the actual sense of cryptozoology, Mothman does not fit within actual cryptozoology, like the actual study of it. The Nandi Bear, Bigfoot, Mapinguari, and Nettie Tiger, those animals fit within. They are legit unknown animals. And that have credible sightings to them that do deserve our time and day to look at them. The Nandi Bear is one that you see a beginning to it and an end. And as the years go on, the sightings go down and down. I'm going to mention something else in here that's interesting because there's also another cryptid associated with this.
Really?
A discovered cryptid.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Did you know there are some animals that were considered cryptids that have been discovered?
No.
Pandas were. Gorillas were. Okapis. And giant forest hogs.
Oh, that sounds scary.
We're going to begin in 1905, over 100 years ago. So, this is often cited as the first report, and most likely is the first report. It comes from Jeffrey Williams. He was a European man on a Nandi expedition to the Uasin Gishu. I don't know what that is, some region there. He was in what was, at the time, British East Africa. While out there one day, he and his cousin saw a strange beast. It was sitting on its haunches. You know what that means, right?
Yeah, sitting on its back legs.
Yeah, like how bears sit. Yeah. That's part of the reason it's called the Nandi Bear.
Well, don't dogs sit back like that too?
Yeah. But like sits like a bear at a zoo versus like a dog. But he and his cousin saw the strange beast. It was sitting on his haunches about 30 yards away. He watched as it got up and walked away on all fours. It shambled away with what his cousin described as sideways canter, which is where we get that term from on this thing. That comes. Yeah, I just wrote that and read that twice. That's where the description of sideways canter comes from. He took his rifle and took a shot at it and missed. The creature stopped, looked at him, and then continued and was lost among the rocks. This was first reported when it was. This account was first reported when it was written about and published in 1912. And this is where we hear about it being the Nandi Bear, because he described it as more bear-like. He thought it was a bear.
Okay.
And other people think looks like a bear.
Did he name it?
That's where we get Nandi Bear from, is him.
Okay.
There's another report from 1905. It is undated, so it's unknown which came first, but they seem to point towards Jeffries being the first. But this isn't necessarily citing, but the Nandi people informed Richard Meinertzegen,
Assuming German?
I guess that's what it is, that the Nandi Bear was there when the Nandi people first settled in the area. They probably didn't call it the Nandi Bear because they don't have bears there. Which I also forgot to mention. How many bears live in Africa? Species of bear.
I'm going to guess because you just said that, none.
Yep, none current. We killed the ones that did.
Oh.
You know what killed them?
White man?
Where all roads lead to.
Rome?
Yep.
Oh, like the Roman Empire killed them all?
Because they put them in fighting pits. Bears that were in the Colosseum were bears from Africa.
Oh.
But I'll go into that later.
Now I'm sad.
Yeah, depressing. So, the Nandi people first settled in the area in the early 17th century, and they said the Nandi bears were there at the time. It was never an abundant animal, but was not uncommon in the area. Their numbers were heavily impacted, though, by a rinderpest epidemic. I'm assuming that's, I don't know what rinderpest is. I probably should check, but it's some epidemic, like a disease, that affected the area in the late 19th century. And it put the Nandi bear on the brink of extinction. This also put other animals, many ungulates, in a tough situation as well, including the giant forest hog, a former cryptid. It's in the same area.
I would
and
not want to come across that.
Its numbers were similarly devastated by that. So they said that there was a epidemic that killed a lot of the animals in the area. An epidemic we know happened. Yeah, rinderpest is an infectious disease. It's eradicated now, but it was a viral disease related to measles and canine distemper.
So it was both. It could be like humans can get it and animals can get it?
Probably. I don't know about humans, but definitely multiple animals can get it, hence why it just devastated animals in the area. So the Nandi people recognized that there was a epidemic that wiped out a lot of the animals in the area, including the Nandi bear. So the Nandi bear was, after this, it was a rare animal to find, but not uncommon for some time. But as time went on, it became more and more rare to find one. And granted, and this is before some heavy Western expedition to animals like this. So, like, you have a realistic explanation here for why this animal would be extinct and on the brink of. And also, if you look at stuff like, oh, why don't we find fossils and whatnot? Fossilization takes a hell of a fucking long time. We're not going to find anything for this for a while.
Are the conditions right for them to fossilize?
Probably not.
Yeah.
So back to this, sometime before 1912, one was allegedly killed by some Nandi people. They claim a Shivuvir, that's where I had to find the name from, got on top of a hut and broke through it, killed the people inside, and the rest of the people set the hut on fire and killed the animal inside. From there, they kept its skin and preserved it, but that has never been able to be found. People did go looking for it.
I wonder how the skin got preserved if they burnt it down.
Smoke inhalation might have killed it? I don't know. And they might have, the firemen that killed it might have trapped it and then they killed it.
Oh, that's true.
And then in the 1910s, the Magadhi Railway, I'm hoping I'm right in these. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing. The Magadhi Railway was under construction and there were multiple reports of the Nandi bear. A Dutch boy noticed it but could not describe it. A subcontractor named Mr. Cavigia witnessed it, and his description, which will be mentioned later, was given to somebody. Multiple workers saw tracks of the creature and reported them. One was even sketched, and it was one of the five-toed tracks, along the more ape-like one. In 1912, Major Tolson claims that a black-haired beast with long hair tried to raid the kitchen of their camp. It was late and dark, so it was hard to get details. He estimated it to be about 18 to 20 inches to its shoulder.
So from ground to the shoulder?
Yeah.
Okay.
So smaller than the other estimates we have. It had a gait similar to that of a bear. And he described it as thick set and had a mournful cry.
That's where the... Okay. Yes, that's where that comes from. Okay.
In 1913, we got some more sightings. The first one is from NEF Corbett. He was district commissioner of Eldorette in British East Africa. He was having lunch by a wooded stream and came across the creature drinking from the stream. It was like a creature he had never seen before. It was larger than a hyena, thick reddish-brown fur, white streak down the hindquarters, not heavily built, long ears, and it was pretty long. Shambled away across the stream and into the brush. So a little more hyena-like, I think. The next sighting is by railway engineer G.W. Hicks. And he is the one who, that sighting I said earlier that we mentioned, that guy gave his description to Hicks, which matches what he says. This was at 9 a.m. on March 8th of 1913. He was on a motor trolley. He was not.
He was not one.
Yeah, I forgot I mentioned he's a railway engineer. And
he was not Thomas the Tank Engine.
No, I thought this is where I said he was a railway engineer, despite I already wrote that. So he was on a motor trolley and saw the creature. At first he thought it was a hyena until he continued to look at it. It was about 50 yards away, and he described much of what we see in the hyena one. So it matches a lot of that description. And that's actually where some of the description comes from, is what he mentioned. So he watched as it ran away, more like a bear would run instead of like what you'd expect, like a cat or something. Because when a lot of people think of larger carnivore, they think of the big cats there. But this ends up running unlike them.
So it runs on...
4 legs.
It does run on 4 legs.
Yeah,
okay.
all of them do. But I don't actually know how a hyena runs. I'm guessing maybe a larger hyena might run similar to a bear.
I would expect them to run more like a dog.
I don't know. Hyenas' bodies aren't as elongated.
That's true. I do have one question. So if these descriptions are so different from one another, how do they get connected into thinking it's the same?
Area, the big creature we don't know is all a Nandi Bear.
Okay. Is the possibility there that it's 2 different
Yes.
animals? Okay.
With all those different names, we say there's a decent chance we have 2 different animals here. A more ape-like creature that's unknown, and a hyena-like creature that's unknown.
Okay.
That's the idea. So he also had a native servant mention seeing one as well. That's the term used. Sorry if that I don't know how to better put that. Indentured servant, indigenous indentured servant. No way does it sound good to say.
Yeah, no.
But that is European. One. No, it wasn't his. It was somebody else.
Well, fuck whoever had this.
Still,
person.
yeah, it's what the Europeans did to Africa.
You can't own people.
Exactly. Despite some people think you can, fuck them if you think you can.
Yeah, this is not a podcast for you if that's your belief.
Yeah, find somewhere else. Back to this, in 1914, one was allegedly tricked in a village of the forested area of Kapsawar. They had used a dummy in a doorway of a hut and lured it into the hut, and then they killed it by shooting arrows into the creature.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Was the creature doing something to terrorize this community?
Well, it sounds like, based on earlier, they sometimes prey on people in huts.
Okay, so it was like a safety thing.
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't just we want to kill this thing.
Yep. Now we go to 1923. An American sportsman, J. Herman Burge, shot and killed a Nandi Bear. It is unknown what happened to the body of the animal. In 1925, Captain William Hitchens was tasked with investigating reports of the animal predating on people. Trigger warning here, I am about to mention the deaths of a child and a dog.
No, not a dog. Sorry, children. Oh no, not a child. But not a dog.
So he was there after it allegedly killed a 6-year-old girl. When there, the animal took his dog. It attacked his camp one night, and that's when it took his pet dog. He tracked it for weeks. It had three-toed tracks, and they were unlike anything he had seen before, especially with their size. They were larger than a lion's tracks. He could not find the creature at all. But he did describe Nandi Bear as an aggressive animal.
So when we're thinking it took the dog, we're thinking it picked it up much like bigger dogs pick up their young, so like by the neck?
Possibly. I don't know where it picked up. Probably would have picked up there. That's where animals typically pick up other ones to hunt.
So I'm assuming this thing was much bigger than whatever dog.
Yeah. If we're talking about a large hyena here.
Well, does it say what kind of dog?
No.
Okay.
But hyenas are strong animals.
Because like chihuahuas get picked up by freaking hawks and stuff.
If you think of the spotted hyenas, like 2 to 3 feet at shoulder height, and this is supposed to be double.
It's a big
part of the reason
animal.
I also call it a bear is because
it's big like a bear.
It's big. It's big for a hyena. We don't have hyenas like that anymore. Yeah.
And we're assuming, obviously, that the dog is dead, but he never found, the dog's body.
Yep.
That's so sad. Maybe they lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That's definitely
really sad.
But now we go to 1925. A hyena the size of a lion was alleged to have been killed in Tuso. It was speared 10 times before it died.
What's the difference in the size between a lion and a bear?
Lions are pretty big. Lions are smaller than bears, but lions are still very large.
Okay, so this was smaller than previous descriptions, essentially.
It's in line because bears' sizes also range. So
black bears are small.
We're talking black bear size. Like a lion's going to be similar-ish.
Okay.
A grizzly bear is way bigger.
And obviously, these people didn't have bears to really compare.
Yeah, and if you're thinking Europeans are probably doing European brown bears, which I think are smaller than North American brown bears. I could be wrong.
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
But also, when you haven't seen a bear in a while and you're in a different land, you might misjudge.
I don't even know how I would tell you how big a bear is if I saw one in real life.
They're pretty big.
The only ones that I look at are the fat bear contests.
My goodness. Back to sightings. In 1927, also near Tuso, which we just mentioned, a giant hyena was alleged to have killed 12 cattle.
Aww.
And then sometime in the 20s, under the name the Chemiset, one of the other ones I mentioned, which I guess means devil in the local dialect, was said to have taken 10 sheep and killed 7 of the 10 sheep. And of the 7 it killed, it ate the brains of them.
Oh, what about the other 3?
They lived. But it ate the brains of them.
What would be, is that just a high nutritional source?
I think it's high protein, but also some animals just have taste for different things. I mean, do you know about the great white sharks that jump out of the water to catch the seals off the coast in Africa?
No.
Have you ever seen the great white sharks jump out of the waters to get seals?
Probably.
They don't do that as much in some areas anymore because 2 orcas have been moving into there. They hunt their great whites. You know what they do with their great white?
Nope.
Kill it, and they eat the liver.
Oh.
And that's it.
Really?
Different parts of the body taste different.
Orcas be doing the most.
So it could just be the brain tastes better.
They're attacking yachts.
It may be because not every animal gets access to the brain as easily when they're eating.
That makes a lot of sense because not a lot of animals can crack open the skull.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
that's interesting.
Depending on the animal, a lion can probably crack the skull of certain animals. I think they can crack our skulls, but not as easily.
I don't want to find out.
And they aren't built to do it all the time, but a hyena is built to regularly do that.
Yeah. I wonder if it is fresher too, if there's something about because of it being encapsulated in the skull.
No idea, but I think, and I heard this in a different podcast, and I can't confirm it. Apparently, hyenas currently do like to eat brains.
That's crazy.
But I mean, it's just an adaptation. That's how nature is. Certain things taste different, and you can just access certain different things as an animal.
That's making my stomach hurt.
All right, then I won't go to in the early 1930s. Captain F.D. Hislop saw a bear-like animal that was 3 feet tall at the shoulder height and had a small pointed head. It ran off on all fours. Then, 1936, Jesse R. Coop shot a huge lynx-like creature. Its skull and skin were sent to the London Natural History Museum, where it disappeared.
Huh.
Do you know anything about how that happens at museums?
Well, I know that at the Louvre recently, things disappeared because there were people who dressed up as construction workers that went in and stole it. So
yeah, I didn't actually look much at that.
That's
I don't
freaking
follow
crazy.
that. But
Crazy shit. But no,
stuff-
I don't actually know.
stuff getting lost at museums is not uncommon. It's ridiculously common.
Why?
There's just so much shit there. Do you know how many dinosaurs, new species, get discovered by looking at old shit that's been sitting there for decades? And they're like, oh shit, this is a new species we've been holding on to for decades.
I'm gonna guess a decent
Too
amount.
often. Too often that doesn't happen. Speaking of that, did you hear the new dinosaur controversy?
No.
He's back. Nanotyrannus is now a valid genus and species.
Isn't nano mean tiny?
Yes.
Tiny
You
T-Rex?
know when we went to the Carnegie and saw Jane?
Yeah.
That's no longer a T-Rex, that's a Nanotyrannus specimen.
What do you think about that?
People smarter than me are saying it is. Mark Quinton, who's a famous paleo artist and paleontologist within that circle, he is not happy with it whatsoever. I mean, I think he knows it's right, but he has a book on T-Rex, and he's posted a picture of him throwing it into the trash. And people are like, Mark Quinton is not taking this well.
Well, I mean, it makes...
But apparently
didn't they think that was the way that...
It used to be Nanotyrannus, and it was juvenile T-Rexes.
That's what I was just
now
gonna
it's
say.
back to Nanotyrannus, but I guess the evidence this time for Nanotyrannus is really good.
I was gonna say, because like if it was the juveniles were the largest on like the island, they were considered the highest.
Oh, in the ecosystem, you mean?
Yeah, whatever. Like they were considered the highest predator,
Yeah.
but they were much smaller than like adult ones.
Yep. Because they were struggling to find a middle niche for carnivores, and they assumed it was the adolescent T-Rexes, but it looks like it's now Nanotyrannus.
I wonder what the evidence is, but that's for another
Growth
day.
flags.
What?
Growth flags in the bones.
Oh,
Interesting, yeah.
I'd be interested to talk more about that at some point.
Yeah. But no, sorry, I just wanted to put that in. I forgot to tell you that Nanotyrannus is back, and the amount of memes about
He's
it.
back.
At least in the paleo circle,
Voldemort's
there's so many
back.
memes about it. It's insane.
Did someone create a Voldemort meme?
No, not a Voldemort one, but a Spider-Man coming out of the grave one.
You need to do a Voldemort one where it's the.
There's so many different ones now.
But it's the guy from the Minister of Magic.
Yeah.
He's back. Voldemort's back.
Yeah, Nanotyrannus is back, and I'll be honest, I'm not fond of it. I want him gone. I want him out of here. Cut him. Game misconduct out of here.
Eject him from the game.
All right,
Suspended for 84 games.
back to this. So yeah, specimen lost at the zoo. At the museum. Sucks. In 1941, a military officer saw the creature clearly in his headlights while driving in Kenya. Now we jump forward to either 1957 or 1958. And this one has a lot of contention behind it, this one. Carl Schuker has about a blog post on this that, if you were to put it in a book, is like fucking 20 pages worth of shit on this.
Jeez.
I'll generalize it later from what I read on it. And somehow Jane Goodall is involved in this.
Oh, Jane.
So,
rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Jane Goodall. And he literally put the Jane Goodall, the one that you think about.
Well, she is the only Jane Goodall. Obviously, there's probably another Jane Goodall out there in the world.
Exactly. But Douglas Hutton shot and killed 2 animals. They were 3 foot 3 inches tall at the shoulders, had sloping backs, heavy manes, and broad shoulders. They left the bodies to be stripped by ants so they could then send the bones, and were sent to Nairobi and identified as giant forest hyenas.
Wait, what? They were stripped by ants?
Yeah, they put them in the bushes for ants to eat the bones. Eat the flesh and skin.
I've never heard of that with ants. I've only heard of that with beetles.
Oh, I'm pretty sure ants in Africa are different than ants here.
That would make sense. Africa is its own.
I mean, you can do it with ants here, but I'm pretty sure we have more efficient beetles here, but they have probably more efficient ants
I only
there.
know that from bones.
I see. People do it online for making skeleton art.
Yeah, because it cleans them very, very much.
But Douglas Hutton, when he turned this in, he sent a letter, and it went to, I forget who it went, but it went to the person's secretary, Jane Goodall.
Then that's the...
Jane, yeah.
So she was the secretary.
Yeah, she got a letter on the Nandi Bear.
Oh. She's so cool.
This is not the only time she'll be mentioned in the podcast because she comes up in Bigfoot Talks.
She's so cool.
She is. She's a great person. Did you hear one of her last things she said?
I feel like I did, but I can't recall off the top of my head.
It's political related, so we can just talk about it offline here. So back to this. We'll go back to it. In 1962, the father of hunter Jamie McLeod shot and killed one. It was like a hyena, but very large. And he told Carl Sugar about it. He couldn't produce the evidence of it.
Why is everybody shooting?
I don't know. Big game hunters. This is a hunter. Everyone's a fucking hunter. 2 more people witnessed the creature of the more hyena looking in 1967. And then we go to 19. Let me make sure I got the year right. Sorry. Yeah, no, 2 more things. In 1981, another one was seen in the area where Hutton had shot and killed the 2. And then lastly, in 1998, the final sighting occurred. Dennis Burnett and his wife Marlene were driving when they witnessed the creature. They watched it for 15 seconds. They initially thought it was a bear, then realized it was a very large, shaggy hyena.
And there's no discussion anywhere of whether or not this is a different animal with mange of any kind?
Mange is the opposite. This animal's always shaggy with a lot of fur.
Okay.
Which, actually, fun fact about hyenas.
Well, didn't they say there was one description where, like, the butt and stuff had, like, no...
The hindquarters are not as furred for some of them, which would fit more with a baboon.
Okay.
But interesting thing on hyenas. Brown hyenas are very shaggy. Striped hyenas, let me double check,
Which hyena...
are not as furry, but...
Which hyena is in The Lion King?
Spotted.
Okay.
But a spotted hyena can get furry. Fun fact, if you put a hyena in an environment like we have here in Pennsylvania, when the colder months hit, a hyena from Africa will grow its fur out longer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not every animal does that, but hyenas can.
No, but that is, like, I mean, at least for, like, dogs and stuff, that's really common. For double-coated dogs.
It's also interesting because a hyena is a tropical animal.
Like, I love our boy, but he's not going to be growing a thicker fur for the winter.
Yeah. But a brown hyena does have the longer fur, actually, naturally.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is interesting because I'll go into that. But that's all the sightings. So we'll go into some theories. So, you ready to hear some of these theories on what it can be?
Yes, I am.
All right. First is it is a bear.
Wow.
You know what bears that lived in, actually I mentioned before, the only bear to be native to Africa in recent history is the Atlas bear.
Oh, Atlas.
The Atlas bears went extinct in 1870. There were a few sightings after, but those are debated. The Atlas bears lived around Morocco, in that area.
Is
Morocco
it possible?
And Libya.
I mean, I feel like it's possible.
Very unlikely, but possible that maybe there's some made it all the way to the other side of Africa, because we're talking the other side, across the Sahara.
That would make sense. I don't know geography.
Yeah, and on top of it, the Atlas bear was large. A lot of them were sent to the Colosseum to fight, and were just hunted a lot by Europeans. Hence why they went extinct in the 1870s.
God, humans have sucked forever.
Yeah. So another is a theory is the oversized honey badger.
Aww.
So they are aggressive
It's a
animals.
Hufflepuff.
That's a regular badger. Honey badger don't give a shit.
Well, true. They're not loyal. Fuck that. Oh.
Next thing is a spotted hyena that's just misidentified.
Okay.
Or an exceptionally large other species or subspecies of spotted hyena.
Could it be a cross between anything?
I don't know really how that works. What could cross with what?
I mean, like, we have mules and stuff, don't we? Like,
yeah, but like you have something somewhat similar, and I don't think there's any close by hyena thing it can mate with. Then we have an aardvark, which is a suggestion. I don't think so whatsoever.
That doesn't make sense to me.
An unknown type of ape.
Generic.
Now, yeah, and we're talking like ape, like gorilla, chimpanzee.
Yeah.
which is plausible for the baboon-like ones, or there is maybe a regular baboon or an unknown species of baboon or prehistoric baboon. We have two prehistoric baboons to talk about here.
What about a baboon hyena hybrid?
Way too far apart from each other genetically.
Oh, darn.
But baboons, we have Dinopithecus and Theropithecus.
Okay.
Dinopithecus lived in southern Africa and was fucking massive.
Okay.
One of the largest apes to ever live.
Oh.
Like, I'm pretty sure, like, gorilla-sized baboon.
Damn. Okay.
Theropithecus was also larger and did live in that area too. So the idea is maybe one of those survived to modern day, but both have been extinct for, I believe, it was like 1.5 million years.
They've been extinct for 1.5 million years, and people think that one of them happened to survive.
Theropithecus is 650,000 years ago, and
like that makes a very big
1.5 million years ago.
Like that makes a very big difference. Ain't no fucking way I believe that one of them made it till 1905.
Next is a surviving short-faced hyena, which is a lion-sized carnivore that lived in southern Europe and West Asia. Did you know about the short-faced hyena?
No, I didn't even know that there was...
the size and some of the description.
I didn't know that there were multiple types of hyenas in the first place.
Yeah. And Carl Schuker at the time thought that was an excellent predator that could be the Nandi Bear, but I believe his view has changed. But it could be if one survived into there, which hyenas, there were larger species of hyenas. There were cave hyenas. I'm pretty sure this is the cave hyena. Jeez. I believe they were present in North America too, or different similar species. But that's actually a culprit for another cryptid case too in France. But yeah, cave hyena. I do like that one. A surviving calicothere. You know what a calicothere is?
Isn't there a related animal called a calicotherium?
Yeah, that's one of them, a calicotherium. There's a picture of a calicothere.
I was picturing an anteater.
They're like horses. They're relatives of horses. It's like if you put a ground sloth and a horse together, and they are related to horses.
Okay.
So they knuckle walk on their front feet, and then I don't know if it's digitigrade or plantigrade on the back. There is actually one calicothere like that was discovered in 1979. Like calicotheres are all extinct. One fossil discovered in 1979 that was named after the Nandi Bear, the chemosit.
Oh.
So there was a nod to it. Then we have some of the African cats, like the African civet, which is the civet I don't think is a cat, but it looks close. Another thing is the African wildcats could be misidentified, along with African wild dogs. Some also think it could be a heavily built giant forest dog, which was at one point a cryptid.
I mean, I could see that. That definitely fits a description of hyena-like.
Here's one. Murders committed by secret societies or terrorists that could have been doctored to make it look like a huge mysterious animal was responsible. There is one assassination that is alleged that the Nandi Bear got rid of the evidence.
Oh, like the Nandi Bear had the wherewithal to do so? Okay.
Then, or just some unknown species of baboon or hyena, which I'll mention briefly later. And, actually not necessarily briefly, but, or it could be people misidentifying known animals.
I feel like that's pretty plausible too.
Yeah. So those are the possible what the animal could be. What do you think out of those?
Well, I think I like the idea of like the large dog species, because I feel like that meant
large dog or large hyena.
Well, didn't you say one of the last ones was like a large
African wild dogs?
Yeah, that.
Okay, it would have to be a larger African wild dog, which we've never discovered one, but it could be. Who knows?
Yeah. Or I mean, it sounds like more of the descriptions were hyena-like.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I could get behind it being more, at least something that could be maybe related to the hyenas, like within the same species or like same genus or whatever. Listen, it's been a long time since I've taken biology, and it's like 9 o'clock.
Let me tell you one of the interesting things. Carl Schuker did an insane amount of digging into the specimens killed by Hutton
Okay.
Turns out he actually only killed one of the two. That the story is mistold.
Okay.
He killed the one, the other one got away. And when he sent it back, he was, and I forget, I did not read through all this and all the digging of it, but it was confirmed what animal it actually was.
Okay.
It was a type of brown hyena.
Okay.
You know what's interesting about that?
What?
So brown hyena is a shaggier hyena with a slope back.
Okay.
So this would have to be an abnormally large brown hyena. On top of it, it would have to be a whole new price subspecies of brown hyena. Brown hyena are only in the very south part of Africa, not in East Africa, not even close to here.
Is there an adaptation that they could have had that would allow that? Like, if let's say they were brought from like
South Africa to up there?
Yes, for some type of reason. Like, obviously, the Romans and stuff were taking the bear.
But we're talking 17th century is when these were first seen by the Nandi people.
Okay, so like...
I'm thinking it was not necessarily being moved out of place. I'm thinking that centuries before, the brown hyenas probably had a southern population and an East African population.
What's the weather difference?
Southern Africa is more arid areas and savanna areas versus the jungle and forest.
Well, I wonder if that's what made them have to be bigger.
Yeah, and also a whole different, like they evolved differently by the sounds of it and got larger. I'm thinking based on that, this is my theory, that the Nandi bear was for the hyena, is a larger species of brown hyena. And based on the evidence that the Nandi people have given that, it was a real animal that after an epidemic and just centuries of, how evolution works and people encroaching on its territory, that it went extinct.
Yeah, I definitely can get behind the idea that it's just a larger version of a brown hyena. Like, just in terms of what adaptations it might need to live in the jungle and things like that. Like, I think that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I stopped caring about some of the explanations once I started reading Carl Schucher's stuff briefly. I'm like, I think it's a larger species of brown hyena.
Yeah.
Because if I show you real quick, I'm going to show Sage a picture of a brown hyena. Shaggy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine one just larger than the others. Does that not fit the descriptions I was giving you? Maybe a bit different color fur because it's a different subspecies than the one we're looking.
It's also living in the jungle and not in the arid climate.
Yep, and whenever they were given the stuff to identify it, they were given the skeleton and skull. I don't think they were given anything else. So morphology-wise fit a brown hyena.
Okay.
And brown hyenas can get a mane, which we've heard described. Okay. Honestly, that's my hypothesis on it. I know I kind of went fast through the other theories.
No, I mean, plausibly, it makes the most sense that it just sounds like there's not enough, baboon descriptions for that to be as credible as it being some kind of hyena or related to hyenas in some kind of way.
Now, in the baboon descriptions, I think there might be another species that probably also died out of larger baboon.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, this is Africa.
I mean, that one that lived to 650,000 years ago, Therapithecus, I think is which one it was. That one's only 650,000 years ago. Say there's an offshoot of them that survived in more pocketed, isolated groups and died out, and we just saw the last of them.
Well, and too, realistically, when did humans start truly
17th century, when they first started
populating that area? Those things
could have been there.
Could have been there, and we'd have no idea.
They don't fossilize well in these environments.
Yeah, because it has to be more of that dry climate.
Dry or heavily, or gets buried immediately.
Yeah.
Fossilization is very rare to occur.
Yeah, I was going to say, definitely, jungle's definitely not where you'd find that.
Yeah, honestly, that's my interpretation of the Nandi bear. That's what I think it is.
I can totally get behind that.
Yeah, that's where everything points to for me. Now, man, I'm actually kind of wrapping it up on something that I think is possible, but a lot of people still contest this on what it could be.
I think people are going to contest anything for the sake of contesting it.
Some people genuinely believe it's a bear. I don't think so whatsoever.
I think with the way that the legs are described and the hunched back and things, that just doesn't give Like, no, I guess here's a question. Are the legs usually described as shaggy?
Not as shaggy.
Because bears, the hair that bears have, doesn't that go the whole way down their legs? They've got like pretty thick legs. Like the hyenas, it looks like they've got pretty skinny legs, and if the fur isn't described as going as far down, then that would lead way to a description of skinnier legs.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting.
I'm looking at one thing here. So, like, Bernard Hoibelman, Lauren Coleman, and Mark A. Hall, all, like, pretty well-known cryptozoologists, subscribe to the baboon theory.
What? Lauren? Lauren?
But also, Carl Schuker's analysis is only, like, in the last, like, 3 years that it came out, so I don't know if that would change. But Carl Schuker doubts the baboon theory, and he's a fan of the hyena theory.
I think I can get behind the hyena theory.
I think so, too. I think he puts a pretty good thing. I would highly recommend checking his stuff out if you can. It's going to be in the description of here. So yeah, that's about it that I have for the Nandi Bear. It does actually have some pop culture to it. It appears as a monster in the Fighting Fantasy game book series. In Tarzan 134, and on March 1963, the comic, Tarzan meets and later battles a Nandi Bear. It's a shaggy, sloth-like bear creature with floppy ears. And yeah, that's what I have.
Tarzan.
So Tarzan does fight a Nandi Bear, canonically. Besides that, I think that's about it that I have for today. So
awesome.
If you have thoughts on the Nandi Bear, go check out our Instagram or on here. Comment, let us know. Besides that should be it to be mentioned today. So, Sage, you got any final thoughts on the Nandi Bear?
I'm disappointed in Lauren Coleman for
Yeah.
believing the baboon theory. Maybe he will subscribe to the hyena theory of Carl Schuker.
At least none of them subscribe to the bear theory.
At least none of them think it's not real.
Yeah. But I think this is, based on everything I've seen, I think this is an actual animal.
It seems like really plausible.
Yeah.
For sure.
How many hyboons out of 10 do you rate the Nandi Bear?
10 it exists.
Yeah.
1 to like a 7.
This is my very rare 10 out of 10 hyboons.
Nice. Okay.
Carl Schuker's analysis on it, mentioning research, and just the fact that the everything described of this thing is an actual animal. I do believe it exists.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I just think they're extinct now, unfortunately.
I just think you know more about that kind of stuff than I do for me to be able to put a definitive 10 out of 10 on it.
Okay, yeah. But like, I genuinely think this is just an extinct animal at this point. That we saw the last of it, like how I've speculated with the saber-toothed cats and ground sloths.
Wouldn't surprise me.
All right.
Human beings tend to do that.
All right, with that being said, everyone, I think I will give us the wrap-up here. Thank you for staying with us for this past hour. If you're liking what you're listening to, go check us out on our socials, on our Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky that I do not use. Links will be in the description for some of them. If you are liking what you listen to on whatever you're listening to right now, make sure you follow, like, subscribe, rate, review on whatever platform you're on. We really appreciate all of it. Every little bit helps us in the algorithm. And with that being said, I think this is the end. So, Sage, are you ready?
Yep.
And remember,
to look for
the unknown,
the unsung,
and the unseen.
Thanks for listening.
Bye, guys. Moanful cry. Woo!
Oh, I hated that.